Hi guys, join me today and we're here at Westwood. Lovely complex this is. Down around Boston area and we're here for a week in a hot tub, so lovely place to come and have a fish. We're actually on Falcon Lake here and this is where the Fishermania final is going to be 2022. Something to look forward to. So we're here just to have a play. Going to concentrate on that mud line across at 13 metres, catching F1s and carp. Get on box and see how we get on. Right, so I've just plumbed up and about to start my session. Obviously it's a bit different on these snake lakes, they're full of fish and I'm expecting to go out and catch straight away, to be honest with you. Big pot stays in bag, if that comes out, carnage, all hell breaks loose and we don't want that. Want to introduce little bits of bait, nice and regular, and just keep the amount of bait in there to catch one fish at a time. Obviously if I overfeed, I can, believe it or not, you can still overfeed with a pot that size on lakes like this. If you get too many fish in, it's going to lead to foul hookers. So literally, got my 4mm Pro Expander, roll that onto my hook, and I'm just going to tap in a few pellets to start with. So I'll fill my pot, press them in so they don't bounce out, and ship across. Like I say, I'm looking to get quite quick bites on here. It's full of fishes, this lake, and only one on this bank, to be honest, so any bait that does get introduced, fish are going to come because there's no other people feeding them, so they've got no to compete with apart from my bit of bait. So ship out, make sure you line up with where you've plumbed up. I've plumbed around and make sure it's nice and flat. I don't want any bait rolling down shelves or out like that, or if your float's up and down, sometimes you're off bottom, sometimes you're 6" on. You want it nice and flat, and that's where you're going to catch most of your fish, to be honest. So there we go, that float's gone in, it's sat lovely out there. Nice visible tip, and it's just sat positive, waiting for a nice dink on float for us to strike and hook into. There's a little indication then straight away, which is a good sign. That wind's been a bit naughty, but we'll get over it. There we go, nice positive bite that one was. Like I say, just introduced that little bit of bait. We've not waited long at all, to be honest. Like I say, it's a bit different in matches sometimes, it's not always this easy. But when you're sat on your own pleasure fishing, chances are that there's going to be a few fish to be caught. Yeah, that elastic's doing lovely. It's like an half decent F1 this, just plodding in behind me. Take your time, nice and gentle. Bring it in, look at him, he's a lovely fish. Bring it round. Look at that. Oh, and he's in. Look at the size of him. Bit of a beast, to be honest. See if I can hold him up for you. Look at the stamp of him. It's a little bit there just in case. Look at that. Lovely F1. So I'm gonna unhook him. Nice little tick corner at mouth. Pop him back. See if we can get another one. There we go. So there you go, I've just caught that one. Just got to repeat the process. So I've got a 4mm Pro Expander, rolled onto the hook, and then I'm just going to feed a minimal amount of pellets. So literally that many in my pot. Not many at all. If I were to guess, they're probably like 20, 30 pellets max. Just going to ship them out. It's all about being deadly accurate. That's why we use a pole. And pellets are squeezed in so they won't bounce out. Only way that they're going to come out is if I tap them or put them under water. So ship out to where I've lined up with that big telegraph pole in the background. Turn my pot over, dip it in, and tap my pellets out and wait for the fish. Oh, there's a indication there straight away. So the lake that we're actually fishing today is where Fishermania is going to be this year. So that's something to look forward to. Country's top match anglers competing against each other for, I think it's £50,000, so it's one obviously to watch. It'll be, oh, there we go. That'll be on TV this year. Fortunately, I didn't manage to get any tickets for that, but hopefully I might be able to get a slight chance of getting a place if I win Ladies National. Big ask, but it's not impossible. I could be here competing for that, but we'll soon find out towards the end of the year. There we go, another nice F1. Lovely fish. It's still a bit lively. Look at that. That's what we're talking about. Nicely hooked. Pop him back and go out and get another one. The elasticing. Exactly the same as before. It's a 4mm Pro Expander. Rolled on, and because there were quite a lot of fish there that time, I'm going to put even less pellets in this time, so there's probably like a dozen, 15. Go out and catch one more for you, and then I'll probably give you a run fruit rig. Wind's been a bit of a pain, to be honest, but sorry if it's affected sound. Can't help nature. We've tried his best, that's all we can ask. So put my rig in, exactly the same spot as before. Bit of pellet. Put my float over where my pellet's gone in. And wait for the fish to come along and play their part now. It's nice when it's just sat there and you're not getting loads of weird indications, liners, just nice little dip on float like that, and fish on. It's dead important to use this heavy rig as well that I'm going to run through with the rig. If you want to be using like a 4x10s, 4x12s, which most people associate with that depth of water, the simple fact is you'd just be a foul looking fish, getting liners, your bait would be wafting all over. And as much as you might hook as many fish as what we are now, your hook to land ratio would be a lot lower. So it seems a bit silly using such a heavy float, but if that's what conditions mean you've got to use, that's what they've got to use. Like I say, you could use a lighter one, but you would foul up fish. You want your bait sat on the bottom, where the fish are going to pick it up and not wafting around and end up in tails and fins. So, oh, there we go, he's just pulled out in net. I'll hold him up and then give you a look at rig. Look at that. Lovely fish they are. Pop him back, and now let's take a look at this rig. So I'm going to give you a quick run through the rig that I've been using today. So starting off at the business end, I've got a 9 Dura Holler, lovely elastic this is. Got size of F1s that we're catching, 1 to 3 pound. Obviously there's some carp and barbel and stuff in here. It's only a shallow lake, so if we hook out like that and it wants to run, it's going to run, and this is the perfect elastic for it. Dead stretchy, but it's on a puller as well, so we can get him under control in no time, get him under his feet, few pulls and up the pop. Moving down, we've got 015 main line to an 013 hook length, so that's both power line. Size hook we're using a 16 GPM, which is a general purpose match. The float, we've got a 4/16 island on. Obviously it seems a little bit heavy, but it's dead important that heavy rig. Got me shot all above a 3-inch hook length. Obviously 3 inches is important as well, so the reason is you want your bait on the bottom, not fluttering around. If we're to use a light float and a long hook length, recipe for disaster, honestly. Your bait would be fluttering around all over, you'd have them in fins, in tail, in side of face, everywhere apart from mouth. You might get odd one in mouth, but you'll get just as many around than what you will. So this, like I said, heavy float, right to the bottom, you've got your shot plumbed up, just over depth as well, so you've bait hopefully sat on bottom, not moving around, lovely. And to that we've got a couple of back shot, I've got 2 number 9s, and they're just, obviously it's a bit windy, so with my pole tip moving round, They just anchor the line in place and it stops the float moving, which in turn stops your bait moving, prevents everything nice and accurate over where I've fed my bait, and that's how you're going to catch your fish. Right, so now you've had a look at my rig, I'm going to show you it in action hopefully. So I'm just flicking on my 4mm Pro expander. I'm going to put a few micros in, half a toss pot. Still not a lot of bait, but enough to hold a few fish in area and hopefully catch one. So ship out. Make sure that we line up as always with this far bank marker. That's where most of us feed's been going. Gonna tap them few pellets in and sit and wait for a fish. It's that lovely, is that nice heavy float, not moving at all. Just waiting for that positive dink. Float to bury and one on. Obviously you've still got to be careful, I could easily overfeed these. I'm not talking about getting big pot out, because if we did that all hell would break loose and it'd be carnage, to be honest. There'd be fish everywhere. But even with the size pot that I've got on at the minute, you can still overfeed them and get too many fish in peg and become really difficult to catch. So I've just put half of one of them in at the minute. There's fish there now, so it doesn't take long for them to come in. Oh, there we go, fish on. I say swirl behind, obviously, where I've put my bait. Come, eat that little bit of micros. Pro expanders are too tempting, irresistible to F1s and carp. There we go. Another one in the back of the net. You can see how they do big weights of these on here. Lovely fish they are. Right, fat one he is. Oh. Right in top lip, right where we want him. Nailed. There we go. There we go, a little fat one he is. Can't hold him up too much. About there, repeat the process, you can catch another. So same again, 4mm Pro expander rolled on. Oh. Few fishery micros in the pot, sort that elastic out. Ship out and just have a nice day fishing in the sun. Be even better if it wasn't for this wind, but what do we expect? So same place as before, line up with my far bank marker, tapping my pellets, straight away then. Still fish there from last time, I think. Drop it back in. And a liner then which moved it out of the way of where I put my bait. I want it back on. Oof. It's that lovely. There we go. One on. Queuing up out there now, yeah. A lot of fish in this lake. Plenty of bites to be had. That's the hardest thing's just keeping them under control. Quite easily get out of control on here, but we'll do his best to show you how to do that. It's went a bit mad then. Only a little one. Oh, it's smallest one at day, him. They all count. Look at him, little cutie. Put him back, catch one more, and then we're probably going to end it, I reckon. Enough for catching these for one day. Move on to something else. There we go, it's 4mm pellet, rolled on. Don't want many pellets in my pot. Hopefully that's enough just to get a bite. Like I say, there's quite a few fish out there. That one didn't take too long. Ship out, line it up on the far bank, and away we go. There we go, put it in, put a few pellets in over the top. Oh, there's a bite straight away then. Oh, wind caught it. It's picking up and dropping, that wind, it's been a bit naughty. There we go. There we go. Didn't take too long. Could be foul up this one. Yeah, go back again. Repeat the process. Like I say, it's difficult. I fed what, 12 pellets there or something, if that. Not many at all. It's one of them, you've got to feed some. Not many. 10 pellets there. You've got to feed some to get them in. Otherwise you don't get a bite. But sometimes if you put your pot under water and let the pellets release that way rather than making a noise, you don't attract quite as many in. It's all about playing around with it. Like I say, you will still foul hook them, but this is giving yourself the best chance doing it this way. See, that float's set lovely now. The pellets are in, so just hoping one comes along. Just seeing a tail behind me float, so there's definitely fish there. Just hoping that you move that out of the way. It's ridiculous the amount of fish that are in here. Ridiculous. Move your float out, let fish come through. Fed 10 pellets and there must be 20 fish there. Give it a tap, see if there's odd pellet that's in there. Right. Lift it out and drop it back on the spot. Make sure it's, obviously fish have moved it around now, so just put it back in where it needs to be. I know it's depth. There we go, that was a positive bite, proper fish. It's always better when there's been a few fish come in. Obviously they're moving straight away sometimes, and even with only feeding half a dozen pellets, they've gone a bit wild. Once they've cleared the initial bit of bait out, you just get the ones that come in afterwards, looking to see if there's out left, and your pellets sat amongst them, and catch them. Hope you've learnt something. Hope you've had a lovely time watching. I've definitely enjoyed my time catching them. Been a bit frustrating at times, but like I say, with every rig, feeding little bits, it's all come together nicely. Hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on next one. What a way to end it. Cheers guys.